evening and welcome to your Sunday Poker Fix. This is the final table of this Metro Weekend Special. 500,000 guaranteed. My name is Chester Intia. Good evening, and I will now bring you to the cast of characters comprising our final table for tonight. All right, at seat number one is Jose Butch Dalisay, who's coming with 400,000 in chips. Seat number two, Kirk Lloyd Lim with 540,000. Seat number three, Vladimir Vlad Trillanes with 440,000 in chips. Seat number four, I think he's an American citizen, is Robert Harry Williams with 680,000 in chips. Seat number 5, the chip leader, Bruce Wayne Fabilaran with 1.2 million in chips. Seat number 6, the player from Ecuador, Palacios Alexis, hold on, Layedera with 645,000 in stack. Seat number 7 is David Yu with 560,000 in chip. Seat number 8, the pilot. It is coming in with a back-to-back final table is Brian David with 110,000 in chips. And rounding up the final 9, the veteran Rodrigo Callao Sequite with 245,000 in chips. As we see a hand between Kirk and Robert. Robert with Ace Jack. Kirk opened this action, met a 3-bet from Robert, and Kirk called, and now he's gonna fold as this flop does not help him in any way. Robert taking down this spot. Shout out to our early live stream viewers, Hans Anderson. I think Hans rails for Ed. What do I call Alexis Palacios? Patricio. Yeah, all right. I think Hans rails for Patricio. Vice Gov Milbert, magandang gabi sa'yo. All right. Chikong Montante, shout out to you. Boss Popoy Lagman, happy watching, sir. My friend from Japan, Yoshihiro Noguchi. Good evening to you. All right, Robert now, early position. He's got suited connectors. He's gonna limp in. Bruce. Patricio with King Queen. Expect a raise from Patricio. He loves to raise this types of hands. The current blind right now is 10,000, 20,000. We're doing the big blind ante. So the big blind player has to put in an extra 20,000. As we see Patricio raise it to 50,000. Robert is going to call both players holding the same suit of cards, the hearts. Flop is 4 high. Robert checking to Patricio. Patricio betting 30,000. A quick call from Robert. Oh, this is going to be more action as both players spike a flush draw on the turn. Goes check, check. And Patricio hits his king on the river, but Robert's going to lead out this one. He's going to try and represent the straight. I don't know if Patricio will put him on a 5 because the board is showing a 1 card straight right now. Although Patricio hits the king on the river, I think he's going to call this one. Yes, he did. And Robert's going to show his busted flush draw as the player from Ecuador is gonna take down this spot. Milbert is railing for Don Pablo Calyao. Rodrigo Sesquite. Hey, my friend from Norway. Terje Morgan. Railing for Bruce and Patricio. Be safe, Terje. I know you're in the middle of the ocean right now in one of those rigs. All right, we continue. If you happen to be watching this one, may we request you to share this live stream in your social media platforms. Put it in public settings so that everybody can watch and enjoy some of the finest poker action here in the Philippines. Robert, again, the chip leader, Bruce Fabillaran, Queen 7 off. He folds this one. JR Aldana is trailing for David Yu as we see him folds his ace high. All right, Calyao flopping an open-ended straight draw. Butch Dalisay and Robert, all three players check the flop. Now Butch hits his 7 on the turn. He bets 50,000 and Calyao decided not to buy that last card. Folds to Butch who takes down that pot. Christopher Wande, shout out boss, watching from Concepcion, Manay, Davao Oriental. Alex Garcia, hi to Weng Claudio of Antipolo from Alex Garcia. Christopher Rodriguez, mukhang naubos na yata magaling na pokeristang Pinoy, mapapoker stars, and dito sa Metro, we can halos walang mga pamilyar na muka. But you have to consider, Christopher, nagbabago rin ang landscape ng Philippine poker. Baka yung mga sinasabi mong magagaling na pokerista, yung mga tradisyon, yung mga nauna pa. Maraming mga umuusbong na bagong magagaling na pokerista din ngayon. At ang tournament poker, napaka-high variance nito. Mahirap mag-dominate ng tournament poker. Jepoy Sab is rating for Bruce Wayne Fabilaran. Arn Villa Gonzalo Jr. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great content as always. Christopher Wande, na shoutout ko na, Manay Davao Oriental. Okay, shoutout sa inyo. Pakishare nyo naman itong ating live stream para maraming maka-enjoy ng Philippine Poker, Philippine Tournament Poker. Alright, David Yu racing this 10-7 suited as Robert limped in with Ace Jack under the gun +1. Kenzo Mendoza, walay na. Kailangan mo na ng bago. Oh. Interesting. Oh, Butch Dalisay just three-betted David Yu with King 6 suited. Wow. What a move from uh, the writer, Mr. Jose Butch Dalisay. Christopher Rodriguez. Oo, marami nang pinagbago. Baka nasa isip mo pa, Jojo Tech. Well, these guys are still around. Jojo Tech, Lester Edo. But the Philippine poker scene is ever changing. Nelly Prambita, bakit ikaw lang mag-isa? Mas madalas ako pag ganitong weekend special. Mag-isa lang talaga ako. Minsan nakakaroon tayo ng mga guest panelist. But more often, ako lang po. Bunal Bisag Unsa. Shoutout daw sa Kulafu Boys. Arn Villagonzalo, nakita mo kasi tumapon si Harry because prior nag-limp in siya ng ace jack suited bago umabot sa kanya. Nag-raise si David Yu and then met with a 3-bet. So I think the ace jack is gonna fold given that action. Brian David now is all in. Only 60,000 for Brian. Last week, Brian also made it to the final table and exited at ninth place. Now he is at risk of repeating that scenario. And Vlad is gonna call from the big blind. King Queen. Live cards against the Ace 10 of Brian David. So the pilot is now putting his tournament life on the line with Ace 10. He is ahead, but Vlad holds live cards. And Vlad flop top pair. Now Brian needs that ace. I hope it's a three outer for Brian. I didn't see any player folding an ace. Turn at eight. Only an ace can save him now. And it's not gonna come for Brian David. Same as last week. He finished at ninth place. Busted out by Vlad Trillanes. And Brian's gonna get 9,000 in cash prize for his effort. This is a 500,000 guaranteed tournament, but 329 players came to play, and that boost the prize pool from 500,000 to 658,000. The champion of this tournament is gonna take 141,000 in cash prize. Tutoy Servito, balitang nanay. Oh, hindi natin pwedeng sabihin yan dito. Balitang nanay, shout out watching from Bulacan. Russell Joe, focus ha, always focus on your tournament, Russell Joe. Shout out to you. Jun Dulay, yung iba big time na kaya sa, pwede rin ganon. I mean, masyadong active ngayon ang Asia tournament scene. Kim Are, pabate sa Poker Boys ng Kalibo Aklan. Hi kay Miss A. Guard de la Cruz, shoutout paring Reynante Guevara Corpus. At si Macy at si Arnie. Christopher Rodriguez is asking, kapag na-out po ba yung player during FT in time? Hindi po, hindi mapupunta. Nullified na yon. As we see Calyao raising it to 50,000. Robert on the big blind is probably gonna defend this big blind with 10-5 off. And Robert's gonna flop an open-ended straight draw. We might see, and he just announced he's all in. He took a look at Calyao's stack behind, so it's just under 35. Decided to put Calyao all in now. So another all in a call scenario. This time Calyao is ahead. He is the player in danger of busting out as Robert covers his stack. But he is ahead. So Calyao just needs to fade a 9 or a 4. And we see that 1-9 and 1-4 have been folded by one of the players. So Robert is down to 6 outs for this hand. Let's see. Turn is a king. No help for Robert. Just one card to go, and Calyao is gonna double up, and that he will as he wins this spot. Calyao is up to 400,000, while Robert is now down to just almost the same number of chips. Jonard Ang, shout out from Davao City. Shaya Santa Maria is watching us from Calibo, Aklan. Kins Evangelista, shout out kay Alicia de Guzman. Bob Di Maangay, maingay yung electric fan mo, boss. Okay. Sabi ni Daddy Willie Ablola, new faces except old Kalyaw. Si Vlad is also ano. Actually, uh, yun na pala yung pinakamahina. Ayan. Okay. All right, we continue with the hand here. Patricia has been doing deep runs in our weekend specials. All right, now it's Kirk versus Bruce Fabilaran, the chip leader. Kirk opened the action from the cut off, and now Bruce at the big blind makes the call, just a call for the chip leader. We've yet to see the flop. Flop is 7-7-8, so Kirk out flopping Bruce here. And Bruce just checked to him. He bet 60,000. Big shout out to Philippine Poker number one benefactor, the legendary Andrew De Ocampo. And Bruce floated his ace queen and he hits ace on the turn. Congratulations, Mr. Andrew De Ocampo and Madame Dan Darlene De Ocampo for tying the knot and renewing your vows last Wednesday or last Thursday. Last Thursday. Great wedding. And look at this. Bruce hitting the ace on the turn, but Kirk getting his backdoor flush on the river. Let's see how much he will value bet on this one. He bets 120,000. Bruce with a quick call, and he's gonna be disgusted to see that he's that his opponent was able to suck out a backdoor flush on the river. So that's quite a big pot. That's a 650 pot going to Kirk, and he now stands at third in terms of chip counts. 15 Evangelista, magkano po ang minimum buy-in sa Metro? If you're asking about cash game buy-ins, depende po sa blinds na lalaruan nyo. Kung sa tournament naman, depende sa guaranteed ng tournament. Itong particular tournament na to, 500,000 guaranteed. Ang buy-in nito is 2,200. Virginia Sihan, Madam. Mami Virgie, magandang gabi po sa inyo. Ay, kapipaw. Sino naman yan? Shout out Pipa Juan Paulo de la Peña. Eco Venosa is railing for Blood Trillanes. As we see Bruce, now he's gonna defend his small blind. He limps in because Robert limped at the dealer's button. All players are check the flop, and now Bruce is gonna lead out with a bet of 50,000. Patricio, who's always got a open-ended straight draw, made the call, but both players missing on the river. Bruce can actually take this down, but decided to check. Patricio is gonna try and take this down with a bet, not realize he doesn't know that he's ahead, and that will work as he scoops down that pot. Gian Cordero, shout out sa'yo. Uh, Bulljack ng Gapan. Okay. Those of you who have been watching Metro live stream might be surprised to see those yellow cards. Those are actually time banks, as Metro have now instituted the shot clock during final tables. All right, puts the Lisay opening the action with the fish hooks. Patricio at the small blind. He's looking at Butch. I wouldn't be surprised if he three bets this, but he knows that Butch plays with a more tighter range, so he decided just to fold. And David Yu is not interested to defend that 9-3 suited. So Jose Butch the Lisa takes down an uncontested pot. And shout out to my favorite mechanic, the main man of Mr. Mechanic Auto Shop here at Metro Card Club, Tommy Cabrillos. Take the views na. As we see Patricio Layedra with ace 8 off at the dealer's button. Is going to take advantage of that position. Raise it to 50,000. Folded to Calyao at the big blind. Who's going to defend his big blind with queen 10 off. Flop shows a pair of sixes and a 7. Both players checking that flop. Now Patricio hits his 8 on the turn. Calyao checking again. And Patricia's gonna fire 35,000. Calyao with a call. And he called because he knows he's gonna river the queen. Checks to Patricio, who checked behind. And is gonna see that Calyao actually rivered him. Christian Ferrer. Shout out sa asawa kong si Mary Grace Roque at anak kong Princess at Prince Gabriel. Alright, continuing. We're currently at level 24. There's 11 minutes remaining for this level. Blinds is 10,000, 20,000. And you are watching the final table. Down to 8 players right now of the Metro Weekend Special 500,000 guaranteed. Coming to you live here at the Metro Card Club, home of Philippine Poker Champions. Calyao at the small blind is gonna complete the blinds. This is a blind versus blind situation. Both players hitting the 9 there. Calyao leads out for 20,000. Butch Dalisay makes the call. Now Calyao have improved to a flush draw. And this is a special shout out to Ethan De Ocampo and Madame Dan De Ocampo. Happy watching. Thank you for watching this live stream. Congratulations also to Boss Andrew De Ocampo for a relatively successful campaign in the recently concluded Mega Stack series. Gem on Texon, shout out sa manifest daily clothing at balitang nanay. Hindi pwede ang ano ganyan. Balitang nanay lang tayo. Again, happy watching to Madam Dan De Ocampo and Ethan De Ocampo. Si Ethan ba ang panganay nyo, Boss Andrew? Siya ba? Alright, we continue with the action here. As we see Patricio folded to him at the hijack. He's got a natural 9 for whole cards. David Yu, Jack 9 off. Si Ethan nga. Alright, he folds. And again, another blind versus blind between Butch Dalisay and Kirk Lim. Both players decided not just to complete the blinds and check behind. Puro kwento naman yan, Jemon Texon. Puro kwento si Tutoy Servito. Kalma. Kombawa, Yoshihiro. Alright, as Butch Bautista takes that pot down. Congratulations to the Philippine poker players who were successful in the recently concluded Mega Stack to the players from Team De Camps. Sino ba nauna? I knew Edgar Asian won last night. So, good game to you. Sino ba mga nag-champion natin, Boss Andrew? As Patricio Laedra with Ace-8 suited. Alvin Madrid, magkano po champion dyan? 141,000 ang mapapanalunan ng champion. Andre Santos, April 10 to 15. Ang 6 million guaranteed Metro Summer event will be on April 10 to 15 na may buy-in na 11,000. All right. No caller for Patricio. So he takes down an uncontested pot. Sino pa ba mga nag-champion? Congratulations, Ken Stop Sembrano for a deep run in the main event. And my regular action taker, Jose Jojo Chung, for the runner-up finish. Congratulations also to Jeremy Catali. And who else made it to the final table? Jeremy, Ken Stop, Jose Chung. Sino pa ba? Nag-final table. Daisy Zamora. Pa-shoutout sa Metro Card Club family. I miss you all, guys. From Cebu Poker 8. Cebu. And Vice Governor Milbert. Shout out to all Tiaong and Lucena poker players. Patricio with Quinten suited clubs raised it to 65,000. That's 3.5x. Everybody's folding behind. Down to Robert at the big blind with 10-8 suited. He's gonna make this call. Bob Di Maanay, shoutout kay Kuya Owe. Tulog ka na raw. Alright, so this is heads up between Robert and Patricio. Robert flopping an inside straight draw. Patricio hitting mid pair. and he bets 140,000. Robert throwing one of his time banks that allots the time bank cards when used will give the player an extra 20 seconds because the initial time given to a player to make a decision in every hand is 20 seconds. Now, if that is used up, then he can use one of the five time bank cards given to him to get an extra 20 seconds. And after using that, Robert decides to fold, not to buy his gut shot. There's the current chip count. Patricio Laedra is now the chip leader with 1 million in chips. Former chip leader Bruce Pabilaran is now down to second with 800,000. Shout out to Philippine poker living legend Ricardo Angkol Singapan. Ricardo Singapan, the living legend of Philippine poker. Buhay pa. Mukhang alamat na. Romel Loria, shoutout kay Joanne at Rafa. Matulog na raw kayo. Huwag mo munang patulugin eh. Nanonood pa ng ating live stream. Alright. David. King 4 off. Not interested. Kalya with A7. Early position. Decides not to play that also. It's difficult to raise those Ace X in early position unless you have a massive stack because more often than not, when you get 3-bet, then it's tough to defend with that hand. Vlad, on the other hand, has the ideal position. He opened the action with Queen Jack off. Now it's down to Bruce Fabilaran with Ace 9. And Bruce makes the call. Flop is a monotone, all diamonds. Both players have diamond draw. Vlad betting 55,000. And Bruce is not going to be speculative with his play. He outright fold his hand. Val Ariola, shoutout kay Erin Ariola. Anak, di tayo nakatakas kay mama mo at di ako nakapaglaro. Ayun lang. Kelly Villarin, shoutout to Argyle Ledesma from Babarg Poker. Bobby Orna, shoutout to Team Decams Calyao for 1, 2, 3 position. Parang labo nun ha. Ano yung 1, 2, 3 position? Alright. Suited one gapper for David Yu, Jack 9 hearts. Under the gun. Will he open? Nope. Ooh. Okay. Boss Andrew, sinabi ko na kay Pasing na pupunta tayong Jeju. Sama daw siya. Butch Dalizay limps in with King Queen off. Now Robert with Queen 10 suited also gonna limp in. Gary De Castro is waiting for Calyao. And it's folded down to the big blind Patricio with 5 deuce off. It's just gonna check. It's being given a free pick to the flop. It's Jack High. All three players missing the flop. Butch is gonna take the initiative and leads out a bet. That's probably gonna be enough to take down this pot. Yes. And Butch Dalisay continues to be active on this table and is reaping the rewards of that as he continues to accumulate chips. Again, if you have just joined this live stream, this is the Metro 500,000 guaranteed weekend special. It's happening right now live from the Metro Card Club, home of Philippine Poker Champions. We're located at the Metro Walk Complex in Ortigas. Ah, I see. Bobby Orna. Calao minimum third place, but he will settle for. Okay, just believe. Big shout out to my kuya, Zardy Earldale, Putoy Rivera. Enjoy. I think he's in Australia right now. Enjoy the Taylor Swift concert. Also shout out to Ate Chi, yung loving wife ni Kuya Putoy. And Ate G Rivera, my weight loss mentor. Agagalit na sa akin. And all the Rivera siblings na kasama nyo dyan sa Australia. Kirk Lim has the pocket sevens. Opens the action to 50,000. Bruce at the button has a hand that he can call with. He's got the advantage of position. He three bets to 150,000. Wow, eto. Mukhang may bahid paghihiganti si Bruce kay Kirk, who managed to suck out a backdoor flush against him in an earlier hand. Now David with ace-9 at the big blind decides not to get in the middle of these two players. This is gonna be round two for these two. As Kirk makes the call, 100,000 more. Bruce flopping mid pair. Kirk checks to him. He checks back. Kirk with a second check. And I think Bruce is gonna take this one down with a bet on the turn. That's 100,000 bet for Bruce Pabilaran. And Kirk is gonna make the fold. So Bruce taking some of his chips back. Arn Villagonzalo, haven't seen anyone play suited one gap hands except for Sir Robert. Tapos laging miss a flop, makes you root for him though. Yeah. Personally, I like playing suited one gappers, suited two gappers. But the problem with this, if you're playing more on the lower spectrum, is that you have to be careful because even if you get a flush, more often than not, it's on the lower ladder. Shout out to Jerick Almusayin, who's watching Del T. Shout out to you, Uncle Del. Kirk Lim, King Queen off. He opens to 60,000. Folded down to Bruce at the cutoff. Not interested to play his hand. David as well folds. And I don't think Kalyao is gonna defend with queen. Oh, it's suited. He might though. And he's planning something here. He uses a time bank. Oh, but I guessed wrong. Okay, we continue the action. Kirk Lim first to act here. And we didn't see his cards. And David racing at the button with Queen 5 suited. He's gonna run into the aces of Butch Dalisay, who no frills, just announces all in. Not gonna milk this one. Either probably Butch is doing David a favor by overplaying his aces. Because normally some players would love to trap with that hand, but this dude have known each other. They've been grinding together. They've been playing against each other even in cash games. So I think most probably that's a favor given by Butch to David. So highly Mayo, shout naman dyan. Idol, trying hard ng Wato, Marawi City. Okay. Shoutout sa'yo, so highly Mayo. Alright, so again, it's folded to David at the cutoff this time. He's got Jack 7 off. He's not gonna play it. Kalya with King 3 off. And Butch. Alright. Kirk gonna lead out with his top pair. Leads out a bet of 30. Butch Dalisay on the other hand has an inside straight draw and an overcard, but he's not gonna play that. So Kirk is gonna take down this spot. Patricio with pocket tens. He raised it to 65,000. David Yu, ace five off. And no one has yet to make the call here. Butch Delisai with 9-4 off. Kirk also folds. Vlad with queen six suited. He's gonna defend his big blind with his hands. Flop is queen 3-3. Vlad managing to outflop Patricio here. He checks to the original raiser who fires a bet of 40,000. Vlad raising it to 100 as Patricio making the call. Now turn card is a king. Vlad not minding that decides to go all in. All of his 345,000 stack. And I think that's going to be enough reason to Patricio, for Patricio rather, to let go of this hand. Romel Loria, idol si David ba related sa mga... Nope, hindi po. Mukha ka mukha nga lang, pero hindi. David is actually from South Korea. David is his English name. His South Korean name is Kwang Suk Yu. And Patricio can only make a sigh of disappointment. As you know, his pocket tens is no longer good here. Shout out to Chip Blaze, Royly Oracion, watching us from Balwarte ng mga higante. All right. Mark Henry, shoutout lumang kabayo namin. Rodrigo Sequite. Roel de la Paz is watching from California. Jun Amsik, aka Jun Damango, aka Jun da... Ano yan? Jun Dasuha, aka Jun Damangustin. Shoutout daw sa kanyang magandang misis na kasama niyang nanonood ngayon. Happy watching po sa iyo. Alright, Patricia Laedra raises it to 60,000. Under the gun plus one with ace jack of David Yu with pocket nines. Makes the call. Iho di Pot Pot. Shout out sa'yo. And down to Robert at the big blind. He's been hit several times, so he's down to 200,000. Decides to let go of his hand. And Patricio out flopping David here. He bet 70,000. And David will not be speculative. So he folds to that bet as both players gamely showing their hands. All right. Danger sign Mercado. Shout out sa mga players. Happy watching Sampung Casino. Isa po itong exclusive poker room. Hindi po siya casino. This is a standalone poker room Metro Card Club located to dito sa Ortigas, Pasig. Binoy, shoutout sa iyo, nakachamba sa Sunday 100,000 champion. Uy, congratulations sa iyo, Binoy. Jay Sangolan, how to fold kings. Easy, just throw your hand to the muck. Dave Magulod, shoutout sa iyo, watching us from Macau, China. All right, Kirk now, who's been the more aggressive player among this group. He opens to 60,000. And it's down to Bruce at the big blind with 9-7 suited. And he makes the fold. Doesn't want to defend. Danger side Mercado, how much ang buy-in? Kung sa cash game, iba-iba to. Depende sa blinds na lalaroan mo. Kung itong tournament, itong particular tournament na to, 500,000 guaranteed ang buy-in nito is 2,200. Francis Beliran from Iloilo, shout out please. Marie Antoinette Monteclaro, shout out to you, Marie Antoinette. Thank you for watching poker action here on the Metro Card Club. Calyao with King 9 suited. He's not gonna play that in an early position. Kirk with ace 8 off also folds his hand. Now it's down to Bruce at the small blind. And he's just gonna give the walk to Patricia, who's gladly gonna take that, especially after seeing that he has 2-3 off. Kalyao with 4 deuce off. Butch Delisai with pocket 6. Roel de la Paz, sovereign tide ng mga pro. Depende po talaga yan. Alam nyo, maraming dynamics ang tournament. Like sa ganitong stage na mababa pa ang payout. Of course, ayaw mong masyadong maging aggressive kasi isinusugal mo yung pitcha mo, ang baba pa ng mga payout. So gusto mo na magpataas ng presyo. So there's a lot of dynamics at elements po ang tournament poker. Hindi tayo, kumbaga sa sasakyan, hindi pwedeng lagi ka nakatapak sa accelerator. Talagang minsan, i-spot-spot ka pa lang. Depende rin yan sa pitcha mo. There's a lot of things to be considered when playing tournament poker. I see our recently crowned PPT champ Alex Lai have joined the live stream watching. Shout out to you, Alex Lai. Three-way action between Butch, Kirk, and Robert. Butch ahead at this point, although he doesn't know that. Or maybe he does know because he leads out a bet of 25,000. Kirk is gonna float his overcards, and Robert shoves all in. 140. Wow. Gutsy move from Robert Harry. Robert Williams. As Butch folds his pocket 6. I don't think Kirk can make the call here. And good timing for Robert Williams to make the shove, even though he's sitting at 2 overcards only. All right. So good shove from the American. Butch, we're not able to see his hand. Kirk, Liam with Jack 9 suited, raised to 55,000. It's being folded down to Bruce at the cutoff. And Patricio with Ace Queen suited. Expect him to 3-bet this raise by Kirk. And Patricio is gonna 3-bet to 125. And Kirk is gonna make that call. 8 high. And Kirk checking to Patricio, who bets 80,000. Jeff Sibal is railing for Vlad Trillanes. Kirk Lim, Cowboys on the early position under the gun. He's got pocket kings. Just limps in. Patricia Laedra with ace-6 suited. He's also gonna limp in. David with king deuce off. And Kalyao, wow, oh no, he's gonna try and take this down with a7 suited because he see a lot of possible dead money. Unfortunately for him, that's exactly what Kirk wants someone to do, to overplay this hand, thinking it's this is gonna be tough for Kalyao. And he's down to 2 outs because Patricio is also holding an ace. Kalyao knows now that Kirk indeed limped in with a big hand. Aray ko po. Na-timingan. Nakatapak. Two-outer for Rodrigo Sequite. Or maybe 3 diamonds. Flop is 10 high. Rainbow board. No diamonds. It's looking bleak for the golden boy, Rodrigo Sequite. Turn 4 and the 8 pairing on the river. It's bye-bye time now for Rodrigo Calyao Sequite, who exits the tournament at 7th place. He's gonna get 13,000 for his effort. Sorry, for 8th place rather. Calyao exits at 8th place. 13,000 for him. And now, this last 7 players will now be given an extra incentive for reaching this stage of the tournament, they are now all assured of a main event seat to the upcoming 6 million guaranteed Metro Summer event. Those seats are valued at 11,000. And shout out to my commander, my the ever beautiful Miss Shane Navarro. Parang ang ganda ni Madam ah. Siguro pogi boyfriend nito. Wag muna, tatrabaho pa tayo. Oo, nabate. Nabate si Kalyaw na napasobra yung disiplina. Katapak. All right. David, you open shoves with A7 off. Same hand that Calao busted out with, but this time no kings trying to trap. Oo, nakatapak. All right, again, if you're watching this live stream, the last 7 players of this Metro Weekend Special 500,000 guaranteed, 329 players, and we are down to the last 7. The champion of this tournament will take home 141,000 in cold cash. Hitesh Jatwani. Yes, that's yeah, a lot of things. Not just here at Metro Car Club, but probably the whole world. A lot of things have changed since 5 years ago, especially after the pandemic. All right, Patricia Layedra, the player from Ecuador, and I think still the current chip leader of this final table, opened the action with 65,000, 10-7 suited. Kirk Lim is gonna string along with King 10 suited. And it's gonna be heads up between these two. And both players hitting bottom pair. And Kirk is gonna lead out with a bet of 70,000. And Patricia's gonna make that fold. Darglen Glaze Cruz. Shoutout kay Glenda Cruz ng General Trias. Gentry Villas, Cavite. All right, we continue the action. We're at level 25. The blinds are 10,000, 25,000. Big blind ante of 25,000. David, you again is all in with ace 5 suited. It's down to Vlad Trillanes at the small blind. And Robert Williams with King Queen suited spades. He might just make this call. He's counting his chips right now, checking how much will be left from with should he make the call and lose this one. Chan Ebunya, shout out from Lexi ng Lancaster. Robert still in the tank. Rafael Intal, shout out kay John John Marquez. Josec Rojas, sana naririnig din ang usapan nila. Actually, alam ko, meron tayong boom mic dyan sa final table. Pa-check natin kung gumagana. Robert using his time bank. Ron Barb, shoutout kay Dread Poker God ng Cavite. Shoutout sa iyo, Chuck Peregrino. Ikaw ba ay nakadalaw na kay paring Yats? Joniel Tabinas, shoutout sa iyo. Robert Williams, still trying to decide if he's gonna make this call or not. And he decides otherwise. And David is gonna show his ace high to Robert. Hamburger. Shoutout kay Kiara, nagising pa. Shane Navarro. Napakatabis naman yan. Ano? Chuck Peregrino, nasa parking pa ako. Amin. Ayop ka. Eric Ismael, shoutout sa'yo. Joniel Tabinas. Shoutout din. Parang Shane Navarro, parang naubos na yung wine All right, let's continue with the action here. Butch Dalisay with ace 9 off. Sabi ko na paubos na Kaya ganyan Manny Imperial is railing for Bruce Pabilaran. Robert Williams raising it to 145,000. Big raise coming from the American. Bruce with king queen off. Bruce asking Robert how much he has left behind him. His hand actually dominates the hand of Robert, but of course, they don't know that. So Bruce just gonna make the fold. King Queen off is actually a fold facing a 3 bet. And Butch Dalisay also gonna make the fold. So on good timing to play aggressive for Robert. All right. Asnawi Saripada. Shout out from Cagayan de Oro City. Kirk Lim, Surad One Gapper, and Vlad Trillanes with Ace Jack off. Tingnan natin ang gagawin niya. All right, Bruce. Let's go with San. Patricio also will not defend his big blind against the race of Vlad Trillanes. All right, 7 players still remaining out of the 329 players that played this weekend special. Josek Ross is the act of asking a player what his hand is allowed. Of course, I'm not expecting the truth, but just to see if I can get any info from my opponent through tells. I think the rule is if your heads up, you may engage your opponent in some table talk, but I don't think that is allowed if there are other players involved in the hand. John Silverio, shoutout po, runner ng 100,000 Sunday. Patrick Kiliosa, shoutout sa'yo. All right. Vlad Trillanes again racing from the hijack with suited connectors. Raise it to 85,000. Patricio is gonna make this call. Oh, Patricia three bets, actually three bets to 305,000. And it's back to Vlad. All right, 33 minutes remaining in this level. We're currently at level 26. And after this level, we're probably going to have our first break of the final table. And Vlad lets go of his hand. Patricia takes down that pot. Cristeo Ronquillo. Shout out watching from Jerusalem. And we continue with the action. This is hand number 34 of this final table. Kirk Lim with pocket sevens. And Vlad with ace king suited. Let's see what Vlad is gonna do here. He three bets to 185,000. And everybody's folding behind. Back to Kirk Lim. He looks at the stack of Vlad. And he's letting go of his pocket sevens. Because he knows if he makes the call, then the initial puddle will be generated. Vlad is going to be around SPR1, so you know he can just guess what's the next move of Vlad after the flop. All right, Robert, early position, Queen 10 suited. He raised it to 80,000. Kirk with connectors at the big blind. Will he defend? No, he's not gonna defend. So there's the current chip count right now. Patricia Layedra still leading this remaining 7 players. All right, we continue the action. Robert limping in with king 9 off. Butch also calling with ace 5 suited. Kirk folds his ace 6. And Vlad will just gladly check. And the flop shows 2 tens. Robert betting 100,000. That'll be enough to make his two opponents fold his hand. So good timely plays by the American after being just down to short stack. Patricio with the tens. Let's see how much Patricio. He raised it to 65,000. Folded to Butch. No caller. Kirk Live at the button. She's not gonna play his ace high also. And Robert with connectors on the big blind. I don't think he's gonna play this one. Not sure what Robert is thinking about this 3-4 off. Probably just some posturing. He checks. Flop shows 2 over cards for Patricio. Robert making the call on the turn. And he checks to Patricia. Shows his hand as Patricia shows his pocket tens. Good enough to take down that pot. John Andre Sanchez, shout out to you. As we continue with this final table. And Patricia now has pocket sevens. Alj Abidin, shout out from Zamboanga Poker. All right, Patricia racing into pocket sevens. Kirk Lim with the fish hooks. Three bets it to 170,000. Now it's back to Patricia. And Patricia makes the call. And the flop is king high. Patricia checking it to Kirk Lim. Patricia checked it to Kirk. Kirk betting 150,000. Patricia making the fold, so Kirkland takes down that pot. Riggs Miranda is railing for Vlad Trillanes. All right, hand number 39. Vlad Trillanes with ace queen off opens the action to 90,000. Bruce Pravilaran on the small blind. caller for Vlad. And shout out to former USOP and Poker Dream champion, Hit the Heat, Edwin De La Cruz, who was just a step shy of winning a Spady last night. It's still a good game to you, bro. Congratulations, still. Osmar Moraes, my Brazilian friend. Shout out to you. Butch Delisai limping in under the gun. And just right because Patricio is gonna be happy to see Pocket Rockets is at the small blind. Serafin Candoy. Shout out to you. As Patricio raised it to 85,000. Let's see what Butch Delisai will do. Butch making the call. Patricio betting 55,000. Butch calls, floating a possible flush draw, and he gets that on the turn. And Patricio betting 200,000, half of the stack of Butch Dalisay. And Butch still calls. River's a 9. Patricio checking. And Butch Dalisay goes all in as he cracks the aces of Patricio Layedra. Wow, heartbreaker for the player from Ecuador. Yeah, what a river lucky break for Butch. Because he was already pot committed. The big question is, if the river had not been a 9, will he still shoves with just pair? Right, Kirk Lim under the gun with ace king suited. Expect an open from him. The question is just how much. All right, kick raising it to 100,000. Robert with also the same hand. Ace king goes all in for 445,000. Patricia Layedra with the queens. This is gonna be tough one. But what can you do when you have the ladies? And given this action, an open, a 3-bet shove. Let's see what Patricia's gonna do here. Wow, he's in the tank. Is he considering a fold here with pocket queens? Good evening sa'yo, Attorney Ansel. Hindi, medyo mainit sa kinalalagyan natin. Kaya kailangan natin gumamit ng electric fan. So just excuse the buzzing sound. I'll try to drown it with my voice. Sam Ramirez, shoutout sa'yo. At shoutout din kay Idol Jojo Max. Okay, Patricia still thinking about this. And he folds his pocket queens. Wow. I'm not surprised. That's an option. And Patricia's gonna be disappointed when he sees that both players have is canceling each other out with his ace king and another ace king. And Patricio, look at his reaction, disgusted at the option he made. He's way ahead of these two. Wow. Flop is 757. Possible runner clubs for Robert. Now it's a chop. Now Patricio is kicking himself in the head by folding those pocket queens. Look at him. Wow. Wow. Ronel Marcelo, yes, sa Pilipinas ito. Metro Card Club sa Ortigas Pasig. Kat Teban, shout out to Metro Card Club and to the great. Okay. Thank you, Kat Teban. Thank you for the nice compliment. Attorney Ansel Adriano, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, tough fold. All right. Vlad with ace 10 suited. Yeah, Patricio still reeling from that. Oo, tama ka, Enchan Mark. Tama ka, Enchan Marks. Attorney Ansel, no, I'm not gonna fold queens in that action. But I can understand the action by Patricio. So anyway, David Yu found a caller from Vlad who actually opened the action. David is ahead. All right. Flop is king high. Jack still ahead for David. Turn is a 4. And river is a 3. David Yu with a double up. Courtesy of Vlad Trillanes. Reynandi Corpus is railing for David Yu. Kateban, thank you for the stars. Thank you for sending stars, sir. Lester Serrano, shoutout sa'yo. Alright, let's continue with the action. Ace Queen off for Patricio. He raises it to 110. Alvin Madrid, yes. Oo, sa ganong action, lalaban na ako ng Pocket Queens. No caller for Patricio. Falcon Laguda, shoutout idol to Alan Halusos, watching from SL Harbor. Patricio up until now, shaking his head over that fold. He folded Pocket Queens pre-flop, facing an open and a 3-bet shove, and he would have scooped up that pot. Lloyd Sevilla, shout out from Jensen. Bruce Pabilaran opened to 80,000 with pocket jacks. Vlad folds an uncontested pot. Patricia with connectors. Ace 9 off for David Yu. All right. David Yu open shoves under the gun plus one with ace 9 off. And Vlad is holding ace jack off. at the button. Will he call with ace jack? May fold equity si David. So this is a tough one for Vlad. Ang hirap ipang-call ng ace jack against an open shove. I wouldn't be surprised kung tatapon dito si Vlad. Especially more than half ng stack niya ang isusugal niya. And Vlad making the fold. That's a good fold. I would have done the same. Siguro magre-react tayo kasi nakikita natin yung baraha eh. Pero sa actual the tournament na you don't have the benefit of knowing what the cards of your opponent are, that's a good fold. All right, let's continue the action here. 2 minutes remaining in this level, and then we'll go to a 10-minute break. Kirk Lim, Vlad Trelianes at the cutoff. Lester Serrano sa Metro Card Club ito. Sa Metro Walk Complex in Ortigas, Pasig. Kailangan na ata ni Patricia. Oo, sakit ng ulo niya. I'm sure hanggang ngayon, iniisip pa rin niya yung Queens na yon. And Patricio shoves with Jack 3 off. Ayun na. Parang tilt na ata. He's trying to take down that one. Unfortunately, Vlad. Ba, teka lang. Ang laki rin pala ng tinulak ni Patricio. Pero kumol si Vlad with ace 8. Wow. Ang tapang nung shove ni Patricio pero mas matapang yung call ni Vlad dito. Wow. Flop is 2 queens. And a 10. Vlad still ahead. Jack on the turn. So Patricia is now ahead. But Vlad develops 9 out. A 9 and a king will win it for Vlad. But Patricia is ahead. And the 9 shows up on the river. What a turn of events. Patricio Layedra, who was our chip leader early, is now out of this tournament. Wow. And he's gonna get 17,000 in cash prize plus a main event seat to the upcoming Metro Summer event that's valued at 11,000. All right, I think we're on a break right now. Ayan, magbe-break po tayo. 10-minute break. Ayan, 10-minute break. All right, we'll also take a break here at the panel. Pwede rin kayong mag-break. Gamitin niyo yung 10 minutes na yan. Magkita-kita ulit tayo after 10 minutes. All right? All right, we're back after that 10-minute break. And just before the break, we saw Patricio Layedra busting out of the tournament. Patricio, of course, folded pocket queens pre-flop in that three-way action, which he would have won. And we see the current chip count. Kirk Lim lords it over with 1.2 million. And we're currently at level 27 blinds, 20,000, 40,000. We're still doing the big blind ante. Robert Williams goes all in with A7 suited, folded him at the hijack. Butch Delisai folding Kirk Lim with King Queen off. Will this be enough for him to make the call? Nope. He folds his King Queen. And good timing for Robert. Still at the bottom with 12 bigs. No player really dominates the the chips right now, the table right now in terms of chip count. Ace King off for Bruce. Raise it to 120,000. And Vlad makes the call. Sorry, three bet shoves. All of it has 680. And Bruce is gonna make the call. Vlad actually covers Bruce Fabilaran, who came into this final table as a chip leader. Uh-oh, flop shows two queens and a nine. Now extra outs for Bruce here. A nine will win it for him. And then an additional outs at 10 will also win it for him. No help on the river. Vlad Trillanes will double up to big 1.4 million. And Bruce is crippled down to 60,000. Now David is all in with 10-7 off. Butch with ace high. Butch making the call. And Robert with king queen suited of king queen offsuit also goes all in. 405,000 more to call, and Butch will fold as Robert Williams dominate. I mean, is way ahead, but Bruce Pabilaran outflops Robert with hitting his 7. Turn is an 8. Robert needs a king or a queen. 3 on the river, and Bruce will double up. Six players remaining. All of them assured of a main event seat to the upcoming Metro Summer event. 6 million guaranteed. Kirk Lim folded to him at the hijack is gonna open the action here. Raise it to 100,000. Bruce Fabilaran with ace 9. And he goes all in. All of his 160,000. Unfortunately for him, his hand is dominated by the ace 10 of Kirk, who originally opened this action. Wow, David calling with Jack 5 off. Okay, parang David wants to help Kirk bust out Bruce because it serves him good to have one less player to contend with. Flop is 6-4-3. Open ended for David. Kirk still ahead. Turn is a 10. So Kirk actually spiking his top pair on the turn. Plus now he has the nut flush draw. He bets 100,000. That's enough reason for David to fold and let's go of his hand. Now it's Bruce Papilaran in danger of busting out from this tournament. And the dues on the river. It's bye-bye time for Bruce, who exits the tournament at sixth place, busted out by Kirk Lim. Big shout out to my idol, Monching Agustin Talisayon. Super Monching. Happy watching to you. And my Kuya Ashby Rivera, the Datu. Happy watching also. All right, down to 5 players. All right. Another all in and a call here. Robert Williams all in with 385,000. Called by Butch Dalisay with Jack 9 off. Both players hitting the flop. Two pairs, top two pairs for Robert. Bottom pair for Butch. And Robert Williams is going to double up to 830,000 with a full house. Tens over aces. Kirk Lim and Vlad Trillanes at the top of the chip count. Richard Nalog, shout out to you. All right, Vlad Trillanes racing it to 100,000 with pocket fours. David Yu with ace king suited announces all in. Folded down to the original racer, Vlad Trillanes. All right, Vlad letting off his pocket fours. Doesn't want to flip. Robert has the same card with David. Queen 4. Both players not interested to play that one. And Kirk gives a walk to Vlad. Five players remaining. David. First to act. Butch Delisai. All right. No caller for Butch Delisai. Getting a little bit adventurous there, racing with King Deuce off. Butch now under the gun. Folded down to Vlad, who raised it to 120,000. That's 3x. The current blinds right now is 20,000, 40,000. But David, you with ace queen, squeezing hand for David. Wow, and he just makes the call. And now Vlad Trelian is flopping trips. Wow. I would have shoved that pre-flop with David's hand. Vlad betting 100,000. And Robert trying to represent what Vlad actually has. That's 7. David lets go. It's now heads up between the two. Robert checks again to Vlad. Vlad goes all in. Robert with a flush draw looks at his hand and is now deciding with one card to go, 7 outs. Will he risk his tournament life at this point? 7 outer, yes he does. Throws in all of his chips. One card to go. Robert is letting all out. Only a club can save him. But with one card to go, his chances is down to 18%. It will not come for Robert Harry Williams. He busts out at 5th place and he's gonna get 28,000 in cash prize for his efforts plus an 11,000 worth main event ticket for the upcoming 6 million guaranteed Metro Summer event. And now we have 4. David Yu, Vlad Trillanes, Kirk Lim, and Butch Delisai are now the only players left out of the 329 that played this weekend special. Kirk Lim with 8-6 off. He raised it to 100,000. All right, no caller. Good timing for Kirk. David, Queen 3 suited at the button. Right, caller. Push the lee side down to 11 bigs. 10 jack for David. He might open with this one. Kings for Butch the lee side. He raised it to 100,000. Vlad Trilianis goes all in for 2.2 million. He saw what Butch had behind, so he just decides, gonna put you all in. But Butch is ahead with the Cowboys. Flop is 9 high. No help for Vlad. Only 3 outer. Only an ace can save him. Although he's not in danger of busting out. He's got a big stack. Butch the Lisai will double up to over half a million. Courtesy of Vlad Trillanes. Okay, this is hand number 61 of this Metro Weekend Special. 500,000 guaranteed. 141,000 waiting for the champion. Big shout out to my original idol, John Jojo Tech. Butch limping in under the gun. Vlad completing the small blind, and David can actually squeeze this one with pocket six, but he has the same situation earlier with ace queen, but decided to play it passively. Now, this is the right move. This is the move that I like. Taking it down pre-flop, squeezing it. Butch the Lisai with an instant fold. Down to Vlad Trillanes with ace four suited, and Vlad can make loose calls like this, facing shoves, but is thinking about it and decided against it. So it's a fold for Vlad, and David Yu taking down that 80,000 uncontested pot. Kirk with suited connectors. David to act now. King 7 off for Vlad. He raised it to 150,000. Sorry, 130,000 under the gun. Kirk with ace 10 off. And Kirk flopping top pair. Bets on the flop. Quick fold from Vlad. Current chip count of the four remaining players. David with connectors. Butch the Lisai at the button. Folds, and Kirk is gonna give Vlad a walk. Not interested to play his small blind despite holding king high suited. But he holds 36% of the total chips in play. Butch the Lisai opening action here with ace 7 off. And Butch taking that one down. Uncontested pot. All players sporting relatively healthy stack. The lowest David Dew is still sitting on 17 bigs. Lot of room to make a move there. Kirk with Queen Jack off. David's not gonna play that hand. Butch may consider this one though. He's defending his big blind. And Butch did make the call. Both players missing the flop. Advantage goes to the original aggressor, and that's Kirk Lim. He bets 130. A quick fold from Butch. Shout out to Tito D from Rian Asidao. Okay, this is hand number 68. Banggilan, ba't walang ICM? Hindi automatic ang ICM. Kailangan may mag-suggest niyan at pumayag lahat. Hindi siya automatic. David you with 9-4 suited. Butch racing it to 120,000. Vlad Big blind will not defend. Butch and Kirk not playing their hands. Vlad Trillianis with ace-6 suited goes all in. Four players still remaining. David Yu with the aces. Unfortunately, no action prior. Folded to him. He raised it to 140,000. No call from Butch. Heartbreaker for David Yu. David with Queen 6 suited. Folded to Butch the Lisai. King Jack. Raise it to 160. Kirk will not defend. Okay, we continue the action. This is hand number 73. Blinds at 30,000, 60,000. Big blind ante of 60,000. Butch with king 9 suited at the button. Opens, no takers. Kirk with ace jack suited diamonds. And is going to raise it to 140. David at the big blind. 9-5 off. All right. Kirk Lim, first to act here. Ace 9 off. It's going to open for sure. Yes, he does. Raise it to 150. And no callers for Kirk. Vlad with ace 7. Vlad gonna take down that uncontested pot. Kirk Lim with the jacks. Folded to him at the small blind. He raised and then a quick fold from Vlad. Kirk Lim, ace high. And David goes all in with King Jack suited. 470,000 total. And there's a call by Kirk Lim. Now David is all in for his tournament life. He is covered by Kirk, whose ace 8 is also ahead. Flop is 9 high. No help for David, who's relying on a 5 outer. Kirk hitting the 8 on the turn. A king or a jack will save David. It's not gonna come. So David Yu is eliminated at fourth place. He's gonna get 38,000 in cash prize for his fourth place finish, plus a main event seat to the upcoming Metro Summer event. Vlad with ace jack off, raise it to 200,000. Butch, Pocket sevens for Butch Delisai. Open shoves to the big blind of Kirk, who's holding suited connectors. No calls. Boyet Restauro. Shout out from Davao City. Current chip count Kirk with 2.5 million. Vlad with 1.5. We've seen that happen a number of times. Mukhang nakalinya ang planeta ni Vlad Trillanes ngayong gabing ito. It's about time. This player is a very hard-working daily grinder here at Metro. We now have a heads-up between Kirk Lim and Vlad Trillanes. I think they're gonna set it up, or they might check for a possible ICM deal. So we will take a break while we wait for what happened next between these two. All right, we're back, and I think there was an attempt to compute for a possible ICM deal, but no agreement was reached. So ito, laban na talaga to. No deal. And first hand, Vlad wants to finish his, finish it off with ace 8 suited. Kirk flats, and Vlad announces all in. So no call for Kirk. Champion gets 141,000, while second place player will get 81,000. So difference of 60. There's gonna be a big difference. Expect these two players to slug it out. Vlad Trillanes is ahead slightly over Kirk Lim. So ang laki ng diferensya nito. Kaya talagang magiging focused ang labanan itong dalawang ito. Again, walang deal na nangyari. Straight na labanan. Difference ng 60,000. 81 for the second placer and the 141 for the champion. Kirk with Queen 7 suited. Limps in at the big blind. Sorry, it's Vlad who raised it. 180 and Kirk making the call. We can't see the hand right now of Vlad. Flop shows two fives and a four. Kirk checking to Vlad. Vlad checks behind. Turn is a three. Vlad bets 200,000. Kirk with ace four. Suited announces all in. And a call from Vlad. Mukhang gusto talaga tapusin ni Vlad to. But Vlad is holding suited one gapper. He likes to play that. Unfortunately, pareho sila ng suit. So hindi pwedeng umasa sa clubs dito si Vlad. This is gonna be big. 2.1 ang inolin ni Kirk. Covered siya ni Vlad. Pag natalo si Vlad dito, matitira sa kanya is 600,000. But what a gutsy move from the birthday boy dahil nabalitaan natin birthday ata ni Vlad Trillanes ngayon or kaka-birthday lang. So, quick call by Vlad. Walang isip-isip. He knows he's gonna call it. Window card is a jack. Vlad Trillanes flopping top pair and a gut shot to boot. Only an ace can serve Kirk now. Turn is an ace. Kirk Lim spiking his top pair on the turn. Now Vlad needs a 10 and a jack, the third jack coming out on the river. We have our 500,000 Metro Weekend Special Champion, Vladimir Vlad Trillanes. And good game to Kirk Lim finishing at second place. He gets 81,000. What a final hand for these two. But in the end, we have a champion, Vlad Trillanes. All right, and that wraps up our coverage for this Metro Weekend Special. In behalf of the men and women of Metro Card Club, we would like to congratulate all those who made it to the money. And we're going to invite you, please follow the Facebook page of Metro Card Club. And we're going to see you next week for another Metro Weekend Special. In the meantime, in behalf of the men and women of Metro Card Club, our the dealers and the floor managers and our technical team, this is Jester India nagsasabing maraming salamat, magandang gabi at mabuhay ang manlalarong pokeristang Pilipino.